today from my living room in New Jersey. And while I was waiting, I wanted to see how long it would take if I hopped in the car and came and saw you guys in person. It turns out you guys are 2,442 miles away from me, and it would take an entire day and 15 hours if I just drove straight through and didn't even stop for like a cheeseburger or something. So I'm really, really happy that we can talk just like that on the computer. It's so easy and fun, and I'm glad it's working. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys today, and hey, happy World Read Aloud Week, right? Like it was the day was Wednesday, but we're celebrating all week. I'm here with my buddy Fernando. This is my teddy bear Fernando, who's a very good listener. Everybody's gone today. Nobody's here at my house today, and my cat is asleep. So I like to still read aloud to people, even when there's nobody around, and you can too. You can read to a stuffy, you can read to a pet if they're awake, you can read to anybody. How many of you guys, this is so crazy, but how many of you guys just started randomly reading to people? Anybody do that this week? Raise your hand. You're just like, hey, I gotta read this to you. That is the coolest. I think that is really great. I'm hoping to get more public attention for World Read Aloud Day. How cool would it be if you're carrying around your favorite book and you happen to be like, you don't know, like running errands with your folks or something. You're in the grocery store and you just start randomly reading a page to people. I think that would be awesome. So everybody try and randomly read a page today before the end of the day and get people excited about reading. So hey, like I said, I'm Amy Dykeman. I'm an author and I write for the best people, all right, for kids. I don't write for grown-ups yet. I might someday, but for now, I'm really, really enjoying writing for kiddos. And I am the author of Boy and Bot. I'm the author of Tea Party Rules. I'm the author of Wolfie the Bunny. And I'm the author of Horrible Bear, even though it really hasn't even come out yet. It doesn't come out until April, but I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of this. So it's almost like we're traveling through time because it's not really published yet. So we're going to like travel through time till April until it comes out, and then we'll read that. But I really, really, really enjoy what I do. I've wanted to be a children's book author ever since I was really little. I loved books. Even before I could read them or certainly write them myself, I've loved books ever since I was a wee little baby, just like that. That was actually me, you guys. And anytime somebody would read to me, I get really, really excited. I grew up on some wonderful books. I will show you. These were some of my favorites when I was little. You guys recognize any of these? Yay! Oh, awesome. Especially Frog and Toad and the Sneetches, right? Like I loved books where the characters were different, or at least different on the outside, and then we find out, of course, that on the inside, where it really matters, they're really the same, right? Especially for Boy and Bot. I mean, these two characters look pretty different, right? But as we see through the story, they care about each other, and they're good buddies, and I just love that. So I really like that. I mentioned that I'm the author, so I do the words, and then I have friends who do the pictures, and I'm going to give a shout out to those friends, my illustrators, because illustrators are amazing, you guys. I love to draw. I think it's really fun, but I'm going to be the first to admit I really can't draw, okay? And there are no mistakes in art, but sometimes, especially with picture books, it's nice if what you draw ends up looking like what you set out to draw, and so I'm very lucky that I have illustrators that can do that for me. How many of you guys like to draw? Raise your hand if you like to draw. Awesome! Yay! All right, you guys really, really dig it. Keep at it, and then like look me up in like maybe 10 or 15 years, and maybe we can do a book together too. But in the meantime, shout out to my illustrators. This is Dan Yacarino, who did Boy and Bot. He's looking all serious in his tie, right? He's actually a really funny guy. He's not that serious. Here's KG Campbell, who did Tea Party Rules with the Friends puppy. How cute is that? And here is the amazing Mr. Zachariah O'Hara in his cool 3D glasses. I know, how stylish is he? And I'm very lucky to get to work with Zach, not just on Wolfie and on Horrible Bear, but also on an upcoming book too, that we just started working on. It won't be out for a couple years because it takes a long time to make a book, but I will share it with you. It's called Read the Book Lemmings. And for those of you guys who don't know, because lemmings are a little obscure, lemmings are like small little puffy, fuzzy rodents that live up in the Arctic. We used to think that they jumped off of cliffs, okay, which is like completely silly. But then we learned that they actually don't. The problem is the lemmings in our book, they can't read yet, so they don't know that. And they keep right off the cliff. It's so funny, you guys. I cannot wait to see Zach's art on this one. It's going to be a blast. So that is a secret because it's not out yet. So keep it under your hats. But okay, guys, of books that I've read recently, and we can talk a little bit more about reading. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you that sneak preview of a book that's not even out yet. So, are you guys ready to see a whole bunch of books right at once?
Yes!
I mean, just boom, 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 like that. So I ran around the house, you guys, and I grabbed a big variety of different kinds of books that I like, because you can read anything when you're into reading, okay? And it's fascinating, and there's no right or wrong to reading either. You'll see my buddy Fernando here has a cereal box. I actually ate all the cereal the other week. It's empty now. But I just wanted to point out that you can read anything that's around you, right? Like when I was a kid, I used to love reading packaging, like for cereal boxes, or actually, you know what? Toothpaste tubes are really fascinating. They have a lot of really funny phrases. I was wondering about that fifth dentist that never agreed, you know, with the other four dentists. But so you can read anything. But I'm going to show you a variety of the things that I like to read and see if you do too. So you guys might have noticed I read picture books, right? I actually also just started writing like board books, you know, and toddler books. And so I'm actually getting a little younger. But I love all kinds of writing, and I love all kinds of reading too. I read basically everything. So I also read some chapter books. Did you guys read this one, The Terrible Two?
Yes.
Anybody know this book?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear some yesterday. For you guys who haven't, it's about pranking, which is like so funny, playing practical jokes on your friends. And I laughed so hard at this. I hear there's a sequel. I haven't read it yet. So maybe when I get a little caught up, I have some homework that I have to do for my editors. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to read the sequel too. Laughed it up. Like I said, I mentioned board books. So for you guys, especially who have little brothers and sisters, love baby board books. This one is adorable. Anything by Joe Swan, and I mentioned her a little bit later too. It's just so cute. Humor books. So this is actually like what we call dry humor, right? It's kind of funny. You can see all my friends are dead. Oh, poor dinosaur. All your friends are dead. Hysterically funny book, you guys. Poetry. If you guys know Shel Silverstein, right? Like Where the Sidewalk Ends and all of his great poems. We miss Mr. Silverstein, and I love when I see like little glimpses of his work in other people's work. This is Hypnotize a Tiger by Caleb Brown, who I think is a genius. I think he's like right up there with Mr. Silverstein. Does these great funny little poems about all kinds of crazy stuff. And you should check him out. He's really, really amazing. For you guys, this might sound silly because I'm officially grown up. I love comics, okay? So this is a little treat I just got from me and my family. It's the original classic X-Men, Again, this is another carrot, okay, you guys? When I say carrot, I mean, I don't mean like a carrot. I mean incentive for me to get my work done. Because as soon as I'm done with the project I'm working on, dude, I'm gonna have a comics day, okay? I'm gonna stay in my jammies, and I'm gonna read, I got this volume, the next volume, the next volume. I'm gonna have just like X-Men weekend, and I'm gonna just totally chill out and read. Okay, my graphic novels, you guys, this one's cool. It's a historical graphic novel called The Storm in the Barn by Matt Vaughn, who's genius. He won a big old award for it and everything. I just got it. I'm so happy. And finally, you guys, don't forget your nonfiction, okay? You gotta learn, like, you know, like real facts. And real facts can be way cool, too. And I just got the coolest book, you guys. It's the Tacopedia. It's an encyclopedia about tacos. And I never knew there were so many types of tacos, so I started flipping through this. And you guys, there's actually a type of taco that has a real-life bug in it that you're supposed to eat while the bug is still alive. And I know, it sounds like crazy, right? Supposedly, it is delicious. Like, the people who wrote the article, they're like, this is, like, the best thing ever. I've got to try this. I haven't tried it yet. I might have to get a little more brave. But, guys, I'm just saying, I would have never known about that if I hadn't picked up the book and started reading through it. So, again, reading can take you so many places. Speaking of places that you can read, I see you guys are in the library, which is awesome. You guys look like you have a really good library. How many of you guys use your public library, too? Raise your hand. Yay! Okay, awesome. I love public libraries, too. And I just went, actually, I usually go to my library a couple times a week, and I got great books, you guys. I get a giant big bag of books. I mean, like giant. One time, I got so many books, I picked up my bag to put on my shoulder, and I literally fell over, just like splat, right in the lobby. It was so funny. You know, everybody's like, are you okay? I'm like, I guess I was greedy, because I just had so many books. But yeah, I get a big bag of books, and then I try and read at least 5 picture books a day, even if I'm like crazy busy. And so I pulled out my 5 the other night, you guys, and oh my gosh, all 5 of them had something really cool and valid in this book. So I want to show you the 5 real quick. Okay, so buckle up again. Here we go. Fast 5. We have Whatever Happened to My Sister, and this is such a neat book. It's about if you guys have older brothers and sisters and they're becoming terrible teenagers, right? Like, you know, like really terrible, where they just like music and like boys or whatever. And that's exactly what happened to this character. I've never seen a book that addressed that from a younger kid's perspective. I thought it was genius. This one, you guys, this one was a head trip. I'm still trying to figure out this book. It's called The Other Rabbit. And I think what they were going for, it's a translation, so it was written in another country first. I think what they're going for is, I think they're playing the match game. Like, you guys remember this game when you were little and you would flip over cards, right? And you try to get the two that match? I think that's what's happening in this book. I think that the rabbit is actually a character in the book, because you see him meeting other characters, and it seems like there's always a match to that character, and then they're happy, and the rabbit still can't find the other rabbit. So I think that's what it was, but I'm going to think about this book for like a week, you guys, because it was just so crazy. I've never seen anything like that. I thought that was neat. Okay, books about writing. Like I said, I'm doing Read the Book Lemmings, so I love books about writing. And this one's so cool, you guys. Rufus the Writer. This kid sets up, okay, wait, first of all, how many of you guys have done a lemonade stand? Raise your hand. If you've ever done like lemonade stand, or you tried to sell something, right? Okay, he does like a lemonade stand. Okay, cool, I see hands, yay. He does like a lemonade stand, but he's not selling lemonade. He's selling stories, and he's swapping them. So his friends will bring by like something that he would like maybe like a shell, or actually, you wouldn't even believe he gets a kitten, okay? But all these things, and he swaps not for money or anything, but for stories. He writes a little story. I thought, wow, that would be so cool if like we actually could work that way, right? And do that. Okay, a really super cute one, you guys. Peep an egg. I'm not hatching, and if you see, the egg doesn't want to come out. And he spends almost the entire story still as an egg. And it's about how friends can help us be brave and do things. And then finally, the big art award. This one was so cool, you guys. Butterfly Park, okay? And I don't know if you can tell, but there's so much that goes into these illustrations. They're actually paper cuts. Like, if you guys have ever made like a snowflake, right? Where you take, you do the folds and you do little cuts. It's like that. This is all cut paper that she then made these elaborate background sets for. I can't even imagine how long that would take. It must have been amazing. Oh, and then, okay, one more. This one, actually, I was with one of my best friends yesterday at his library, and they didn't have this book in my library, so I made him check it out for me. So I have to be super careful with this book and not munch it or anything. But this is Puss, Jekyll, and Cat Hyde, and it's about, if you guys, how many of you guys have cats? Raise your hand. You'll get it. Okay, yeah, I see some cat owners. Awesome. So it's about how cats can be super sweet during the day, and then at night they're like, rah, like monster cats. And I think it's really funny. And it's also research, because I want to do a cat story. So I'm already collecting cat books to kind of look and see what's been done before. So those were just my fabulous 5, I guess 6, right? I'm bad at math. Books that I picked up lately from the library that I thought were really, really cool. And I thought I would also show a couple of my favorites from my own bookshelf before we read a story, yay, for World Read Aloud Day, and also get some questions. I would love to answer questions if you guys have. So, I usually keep this around when I'm Skyping. My very favorite book in the world, Where the Wild Things Are. How many of you guys know this one? Give a cheer if you know this one. Yay! Okay, cool. Isn't it great? And one thing I really love about this book that I didn't realize at the time, because it was written before I was born, but apparently the scene where Max gets like angry at his mom, he's making mischief, and then he gets in trouble, and he gets sent to his room, and you see his little face where he's like kind of upset. Apparently that was a big deal way back in the day, that we didn't have a lot of picture books where kids were, showing like real emotions. And I think it's so important that we do, because kids are well, they're better people. They're little people, and we should show that they have real emotions and real feelings and everything. So thank you, Max, and Where the Wild Things Are, for being, for being mischievous and grumpy and showing what it is to be a real kid. Okay, fast 5 here, you guys. These are some of my favorite new picture books from friends that I've collected recently. Mother Bruce, how many of you guys have seen this one? Raise a hand, shout out. Yay, okay, cool. Just like Wolfie, it's another funny family story. It's about a big grumpy bear who somewhat accidentally ends up with a bunch of goslings that he has to raise up. Rude Cakes, about manners, from the point of view pastry. Very, very, very funny book by Robo Watkins. That is his real name. Can you imagine if your name was Robo? There's a story there, right? And so this is, again, about manners. Very, very funny take. This one, you guys, I laughed so hard. It's called I Don't Like Koala. And it's about a kiddo who receives a stuffy that is really, really ugly and freaky, and he doesn't like it. And he tries to get rid of it as much as he can. But then, of course, he learns that, we shouldn't judge by appearances, and everybody's good on the inside again. So, okay, this one was so funny, you guys. It's a book about fighting green lizards versus red rectangles. I love books about shows, that we should try and get along. This is, I think, one of the most original books to come out in recent times. I love it. The author illustrator, Steve Anthony, he knows I love it. I have gushed repeatedly that this book is genius. I just adore it. And finally, I have to give a shout out to like I mentioned, my bestie, Adam. We actually Skyped with you guys last year. So he's the one that wrote the Funny Monkeys book. Warning, do not open this book. Yay, yeah, and he just came out with the sequel not too long ago in October. Please open this book. So again, I love books where you see different points of view. So this one is told about the monkeys, and this one is told by the monkeys. So very, very funny and cute. Okay, you guys, there we go. I've given some book love because that is one of the best things you could do. When you love a book, shout it out. Share it with your friends. Let them know. Again, run around to your town. Tell people in the grocery store that you read something really cool. And I love to hear book recommendations. I love to hear what you love to read too. So, you guys, I promised a sneak preview and some reading. So I heard that you would like to see Horrible Bear. Is that correct? The book that is not even out yet. Yay! Okay. Like we talked about with Max, right? The kiddo in this book also shows some real kiddo emotions. And I really do think that's very important because we all are there, right? And we all have those moments, those outbursts, where you say something, oh no, in the moment, and what you can do to work it out to make it okay. So, without further ado, Horrible Bear! And again, this is illustrated by Zachariah Ahura. So much fun to work with Zach, you guys. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story. The way that I kind of met Zach, I mean, we kind of knew each other in circles. He lives just in the state next to me, over in Pennsylvania. But I read another one of his books. It's called Stop Snoring, Bernard. And I thought, oh my gosh, this art is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And I actually wrote him a fan letter, you guys. How many of you guys have written a fan letter to someone? Raise your hand if you have. Yeah, it could be, well, in my case, it was another author, illustrator, but it could be a sports person, it could be, an actor, it could be anybody whose work you admire. You just drop them a little note that says, hey, I really dig what you did. And in Zach's case, I loved his artwork, and I told him. And then the funny thing was, is that Little Brown Men chose him to illustrate, Wolfie, and then Horrible Bear, and then the next book. And it's just a funny, small world kind of thing, So if you like somebody's work, by all means, shout it out to them, write them a little letter, let them know. And you can do it all kinds of ways now through social media or whatever. So, okay, you guys, here we go. Horrible Bear! Does he look horrible? No. Oh, yes, you guys will find out. Exactly. Again, appearances, right? Oh, wonderful end pages. Look at that big curly red hair. I love it. I wish I had red curly hair. I've occasionally had red hair, but not big red curly hair. That would be awesome. It talks about how we made the book. And I told you guys, right, that this was based on a true story, especially this part here. Snap. And that happened to me, you guys. We had a kite festival. This is way back. I used to live in California, by the way. I know I live in Jersey now, but this is back when I lived in California. And my little town had a kite festival. And I had a brand new kite, like brand spanking new. I just bought it just for the festival. And it was so cool, you guys. It was a black shark kite. And it was all raw. And I imagined it like sweeping through the air at the kite festival. And everybody would be staring at my kite going, woo, and I thought it would be so cool. And that's not what happened. What happened was, I got my kite up in the air, and it lasted for about a minute, and the same thing that happened to the girl. Snapped, and my kite went sailing away. I was like, oh no! We chased after it. I chased after it. Some people in my family chased after it. This boy that I was dating at the time that I really liked, he helped me chase after the kite. I ended up marrying him. He's still here. He's still here right here in this house. Because, hey, if anybody chases a kite for you, make sure you nail that down, okay? So yes, we got married. And we couldn't find the kite, you guys. It was awful. My brand new kite was gone. And I always wondered, well, gosh, what happened to that kite? Maybe it went into Bear's cave. I don't know. But see, that's another thing, guys. If you creators, right? Whether you want to write or draw or make movies or something, look to little things in your real life and how, maybe you can make that into a bigger, more fictional story. Because it's always, a good story always starts with one little thing that really happened to you because you know it, you feel it, and it's real. So that's how me losing a kite and being all woo-hoo-hoo turned into a great fun story that we got to do. So guys, I don't know how much time you have left, but I would love to answer questions if you have any questions. If that's okay, teachers. Like I said, I don't want to mess up your day. But
No, they're excited. They said yes.
Oh, yay! Okay, cool. Affirmative. Right on. Let's do it. Oh, I have to say I'm going to show you. That's my favorite. Well, actually, one of my very favorite words, you guys. So in Boy Am I don't know if you've read it. We learned the word affirmative from bot. So it's just a fancy robot word for yes. But I do try to fit my favorite words into books. One of my very favorite words is ditto. Okay, and it just means like, yes, me too, same thing, right? And I actually named an upcoming character Ditto. My very, very favorite. I might have to get a tattoo of that word just because I love it so much. But you guys can't because you're not old enough. You have to be 18. Anyway, yeah, some questions. Bring it on, you guys.
Okay, Cindy, come on up. Teachers, why don't you send me some students?
Okay, cool. Hey!
Yes, say hi, my name is, and go ahead and ask.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, my name is Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
Why did you write Wolfie the Bunny?
Oh, why did I write Wolfie? That is a good question. Let's find Wolfie. Oh, and this is the English Wolfie. We have a whole bunch of translations going on right now too. So kids all over the world get to read Wolfie in different languages, which I think is really cool. So there's a note in the back of Wolfie too that explains why I wrote Wolfie, and this is fun. This one was actually dedicated to my daughter, so we talk about it right here. And as I explained in the author's note, she was a great toddler, you guys. She was such a good little baby, except when she was tired, and then she transformed into what we call the wolf baby, because she would cry, "Ah!" and she would howl. She was so tired and cranky, she would howl, like, "Ah!" like that. And we didn't know what to do. And we're like, it's like living with a baby wolf. And like I said, you guys, a little thing from your real life can become a real story. That made me start thinking, well, what would happen if a baby wolf actually went to go live with the family? And so that's how Wolfie the Bunny came about. So this is her book, and I get to give her a shout out like whenever we go somewhere and we read it. Now she's a big kid. She's in 7th grade, and she's 12 years old. She's like going to school dances and stuff, and it's crazy. But I still get to embarrass her every time I read Wolfie, so it's fun. But thank you. Very good question. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Violet, and my question is, why do you have those words at the back?
Oh, you guys, yeah. So the other night, when I was thinking about getting ready for World Read Aloud Week, right, I started thinking about all the different ways that you could read or the different things you could read. So I do have some crazy stuff like, like we mentioned, read to your teddy bear, read your tube of toothpaste, read a page for your favorite book, read to your pets. And I just thought it'd be goofy. Now the funny thing was, I just got this idea, right? My family and I were sitting around our living room. I think they were watching a show, and I had my computer open, and I thought, oh yeah, I want to write all the ways you can write. And so I started just typing really, really fast, and they're like, what are you doing? And I started typing all these sheets, and then our printer in the other room just started going, vroom, 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 vroom. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, sweet, I'm thinking. And they're like, what are you thinking about? I'm like, I'm thinking about reading. And they're like, that's kind of weird. And then we had all these pictures, and they watched when I put them up. Oh, and again, you guys, clothespins, right? Because I really like clothespins. Again, little details that come out of your work. So that's what happened, you guys. Hopefully little ways to inspire you to get out there and read. But good question, my friend. Thank you. Yay. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, hey, from the other side.
Why do you wanted to write books?
Oh, like I said, I've always loved books, right? I loved hearing stories, and I thought, gosh, it would be so cool to do this, like, full time. I was one of those kids, always had my head in the clouds, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I try real hard to pay attention, but I was always kind of thinking of something else, and now I actually get to create other things, something else's, all day long. And I think it's really, really cool. So thanks you guys for reading them. Otherwise I'd have no job. But thank you. Very good question.
Okay, good. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. Hey.
My name is Brianna, and my question is, who are your other friends besides the one you showed us?
Oh my gosh, oh wow, I'm so lucky, you guys. I have lots and lots and lots of good author and illustrator friends. And Kidlit, the writing for kids community is actually really, really small. So, you could probably name pretty much any author or illustrator. And if we're not like face-to-face friends, we're probably social media friends, or we've done like similar events or something. And it's really amazing that you can reach out and like know so many people now. And again, like I mentioned, if you don't know somebody, but you like their work, you can drop them a little line, and then sometimes you become friends that way too. So it's kind of a silly answer, but everybody, right? Because everybody there is now reachable, and you guys can do that too. Anytime you like work, authors and illustrators, trust me, we love to hear from you guys. So just give us a shout and get connected, right?
Awesome.
So thank you. Great question, though.
Thank you.
Cool.
what's your most favorite book that you've ever written?
Oh gosh, that's such a hard question. I love all my books. I mean, they're like my children, right? So you can't just choose one. But I tend to get the most excited about whichever one I'm working on now. So I'm really excited about Horrible Bear because we're going to launch that soon. Right now we are editing. So I just got the art. I'll tell you guys. This is a secret too. It got announced, but we haven't really talked about it. Let's see. I know I have it. Okay, so right now I'm working on You Don't Want a Unicorn, and you will find out why. And this one's illustrated by Liz Climo. I need to get a good picture of Liz. She's really, really funny, and I want to give her a shout out as one of my illustrators too. But if any of you guys are on like Tumblr or any of those sites, she does a comic on Tumblr that has like 1 million billion followers or something, and she's so funny, and I'm so very lucky that I get to work with her on Unicorn, and she's doing an amazing job. That's a really special moment, guys, when you get your first sketches for an illustrator, and you're all excited, you're like, oh, the file came in, and you open the computer, I have my family all around, go 1, 2, 3, and then you see how they envisioned your words. It's really cool. How many of you guys do projects with friends? Like you do something creatively with friends, right? Okay, cool, I see some hands. It's always neat to get together with somebody else and see what they bring to it, and that's what my illustrators do. So that's what I'm working on now. I love all my books equally, but I get really excited about whatever I'm working on now, and that's the one that's currently getting all the attention right now. So, but great question, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey guys. Hi. Oh, hey, you have red hair too, just like the girl in the book. Awesome. Very cool.
My name is Tegan, and my question is, do all the books you've written have like a background story?
Oh, usually there's some little story behind them. Yeah, let me think. Even if there's nothing that actually happens to me, I can tell you the story about like how I thought of it or where we were. I just submitted a story. This one's completely like you guys can't say anything about it because this one hasn't sold yet. I told my family I was going upstairs to fold laundry, and that's when I heard Dot's voice in my head. That's when I heard her say, he's going to eat us all up. And right away, I had to write it down. So I grabbed my computer and I just started frantically typing, and I yelled down and I said, I folded all the laundry. And really I wasn't, you guys. It was a total fib, okay? And I was just typing out my story. But then I came down and I showed them my story, and I wasn't really in trouble because I had, a fun story. So, but yeah, so again, your question, yes, pretty much every story has a little story behind it. So, but great question, my friend. Thank you, and great hair.
Okay, I think
Hey, Penny, how are you?
Good. Hi, my name is Jalen, and why did you dye your hair blue?
Oh, that's a really good question. So I dye my hair all kinds of colors, right? I find especially like the real little kids, they really like it. It makes them laugh. And sometimes they don't even notice. Or sometimes we'll be halfway through a talk and they'll go, hey, you have blue hair. Or green hair, or pink hair, or purple hair, or whatever color hair I happen to have at the time. So sometimes I match hair to events. I did a big talk for the Girl Scouts, actually, a big Girl Scout convention. And I got my hair the exact green color of like the Girl Scouts, their jumpers kind of thing. The only problem was with the bright green hair, I couldn't wear purple because then I looked like the Joker from Batman. But it was fun. But I do like dyeing my hair. It helps my friends find me too in a crowd. Or if I go into a dressing room, my husband never has to say, have you seen my wife? This is what she looks like. He just goes, blue hair. And they go, oh yeah, she's in there. But basically because little kids like it. So there you go. But good question. Thank you.
That's awesome. What a fun Skype. Oh my goodness. I think
yay!
that was
Me
really
too.
great. That was really great. All right, do we have anything else we want to say or anything you want to share with us before we sign off? I want to get your picture.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm like kind of lopsided. Just keep on reading, you guys. Keep on reading. You guys that like to write, keep on writing, keep on creating, keep on drawing. Like I said, Kidlit needs you, okay? We're always looking for good people. So if you really enjoy reading, writing, drawing, keep at it. You want to do a book, like I said, look me up, okay? Thank you guys so much. And like I said, you can read to anybody at any time, okay?
Oh, great advice.
Thank you, guys.
Great advice. Let me get a picture of you really quick. I'm going to turn our screen off. If you could hold up some of your books, however many you can balance.
Let's see. I have so many books here. Let's see. We'll hold up these guys.
Okay, and I'll count to 3. Here we go. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.